Alright, so some of you have asked for a tutorial on using Bubble Studio. Here is this tutorial. Sorry if it sounds a bit rushed, because it is. Also, if you can't, well, if my accent is a bit weird, I have collected several accents from all over the internet. So it might sound a little strange, but I hope you will understand me. So the first thing we will be doing is getting our app database. As you can see, this is my PlayStation Vita. I've got it right here. It's on firmware 3.18, so I'm not using any of the Henkaku. Oh wait, I'll turn down the volume. Not using any Henkaku business yet, because I'd like to continue using my TNX and TNV. So as you can see, it's on 3.18. So to get the app database, we will use the failmail exploit, the famous failmail exploit. It's very simple. You basically just send an email. I'm using a local email thing, since Gmail is no longer working on the PlayStation Vita on lower firmware. So I'm using Outlook, using a local email server. I've got HMail server set up right here. So also sorry, my Outlook is not in English. For some reason it's not. I've turned all my settings to English, but Outlook doesn't want to change. So you in the to box you put the email address registered on your Vita, and then as a subject it doesn't really matter what you enter, so we'll just enter dump app database. And then you insert a link, this link, email.send, with the attachment which points to the app database on the Vita, and make sure you've got the trailing dot. So make sure that the link itself is pointing to this address, because that's really important. If not, the link's not going to work. So we press OK, we add it, and now we send it. As you can see, it appears here on Outlook. So now we'll go to email, and we should see a new email. Dump app database. So we press it. Oh, that didn't work. It's not good. Alright, let's try again. Sometimes the Vita is very finicky. Well, it's not working today, is it? Let's try reboot. Alright, we're back. I let the Vita update its database for whatever reason. So we'll try and go back into the email app. If you're using Henkaku, you don't have to do this, but there's a different method, because this one doesn't work anymore, but I have no idea how, because I'm not using it. Oh right, so now it's working. So I know it's not visible very well, but there is a create message form on the screen right now, and I'm going to send it to myself. DB. So now I'm going to send an email with the database attached to myself, so I can pick it up from the computer. So there it is. It's my app database. It's 256 kilobytes. Yours could be bigger or smaller, I don't know. So now I'm going to save it to my desktop. I've made a nice little folder, app.db. There we go. Right, so I have now opened Bubble Studio. So we're going to start editing our app database. So we press the big button with the arrow. This we've already done. Again, if you're on Henkaku, you can just use molecular, you know, the FTP app to copy the the app database to your computer, but I don't have access to Enkaku just yet, so I had to use the email exploit. So now we're going to browse to our folder and load the database. Then we'll be able to edit our bubbles. So as you can see, here's an overview of all the bubbles on your Vita. So I'm going to change the Master Boy emulator bubble. As you can see, its title is kind of messy, so we're going to change it to Game Boy emulator. I know it does the Master System games as well, but I'm more interested in Game Boy. So now we're going to add an icon. We're going to press click the change icon. I've got a few nice Game Boy wallpapers in all kinds of colors, so I'm going to pick the green one. Now this with this dialog you can crop your images, zoom in and out, do whatever you want with them to make them look good. So I'm going to center the image by dragging the image using my mouse. You can zoom in and out using the scroll wheel or by using the slider. Also, if you want to make your own images in Photoshop, here are the dimensions for all image kinds. Well, they're here. So I'm going to press this arrow button. So now you can see that the icon is ready to be changed. So I'm going to edit the input screen as well. Let's make that yellow, a bit smaller, center it, and press yes. Okay. So you can also edit the launcher area. It has a nice preview. The startup gate behaves very weirdly. I've had a conversation with Freakler from Hack Informer about it, and currently it seems that it's not really possible to have it in Bubble Studio right now because it's very glitched out. But you can change the background, which is also very nice. So to change the background, simply click the image. We're going with blue. I think that's a good size, so I'm pressing accept. So now we go back to the main screen, and to write your changes to the database and to the save game, you have to press accept. If you forget this step, your changes will not be saved. So up, it's saved right now. I'm also going to add the package installer by pressing new bubble, and then just package installer is already selected. You can also add the flows PS1 bubbles, by the way, so you don't have to do the SQL part of creating them manually. However, again, my Vita is on 3.18. I have no need for these bubbles, and they're also very hard to set up, so I'm just going to continue using TNX as long as I can. So we're just going to add the package installer by pressing the plus button. There it is. Also, if you would like to add two package installers, you can't because it will give you an error. Alright, so now we're going to go back. I'm content with my changes. You could, of course, change all the bubbles in here, but I'm content with just these. Also, as you can see, all these bubbles have icons. That's because I dumped them manually one by one using the email exploit, which took me an awful lot of time. So when a bubble has like this image, it means that there is an image defined, but I just don't have it. So I haven't dumped it. There is an image, I just can't display it to you. So you don't have to panic when you see this icon. It's there, I just can't show it to you. Alright, so we're going to go ahead to save our database. We're going to press save. Alright, So we now have two buttons, a button for the database and a button for save game. What the database is going to do is basically Bubble Studio changes a bunch of entries in your database to change names or point the images to a different location. So you have to write this file back to your Vita. So I'm just going to press the button and it will save it. I've already got one in my downloads folder, but normally for you it should just say #0. It's very important that it's just #0, but we'll change the file name later. And we also have the save game, which is required because all your images, etc., are in this save game. So we're going to press it. Now we have a zip file with all the images. Alright, so I have copied both the database file and the zip file to the tutorial folder. The first thing we will be doing is copying the save game. So normally when you use CMA, I'm just going to start CMA very quickly. Use CMA. There we go. You should have a folder in somewhere. It's defined in the settings. As you can see, there's the application backups folder, and we need to go to this folder. So when you don't know where it is, just go to the settings and it should say a path right here. So we're going to go to this folder. So I'm now in the P as Vita folder, the applications folder from CMA. We're going to enter the P save data folder, then the unique ID of your system. If you have multiple systems, there will be multiple numbers. I have no idea how to make out which one is which, but if you have one, it's just this ID. So we create a new folder called Bubble Studio. Just put your zip file inside this folder and use the extract here option of whatever archive manager you're using. So the contents, including the param.sfo and icon0.png, are on the root of this folder. So it should look like this. When you go inside the ID folder, you press Bubble Studio and all the files should just be there. No extra folders, because it will not work if you have multiple layers. It needs to be just like this. Make sure you refresh your database after adding Bubble Studio, because else the database won't be updated and it probably will cause errors. So make sure you have refreshed your database. Light balance, yes. Back to the Vita right now. So I'm going to connect my Vita to my computer using a USB cable. Oh, there we go. Let's turn it on. Also sorry for the very bad quality of my webcam. It's 2006. It's a 2006 model, so yeah, it's quite old. 10 years old. Wow, 10 years old already. So I've just connected to the computer using CMA. Oh, sorry. So you're going to press copy content from PC to P's Vita system. Then you go to applications. You scroll down to PSP/other. And in your save data folder, there should be a save game called PSP. It's called Bubble Studio by Arte. So you select this save data, you press copy, and then you press OK. I've already got one, so I'll just overwrite it. Alright, So we've done that. Now we can close CMA because we don't need it anymore. And I'll return back to the computer to put the database file back onto the Vita. Right, so I've already started a new email. So we're going to add an attachment by using the option in Outlook. Very important is that the file name of the database is #0. So not #0.db or whatever. It has to be #0 without an extension. No extensions. Alright, so I'm going to attach #0 to my email, and as a subject we put ur0 shell db app.db. You can just copy it. Alright, I'll write a message to myself and let's send it and return to the Vita system. Alright, we're back at the Vita. I'm going to launch the email app. I've got a new email. So the database should appear as an image in your email app. I'm going to press it. It will give me an error saying it can't display the image. So what you do is you press the PlayStation button and you just close the email app. And now you're done. All you need to do is turn off your Vita. Now let's turn it on again. And you should see, as you can see, the name of the Game Boy bubble has been changed into a Game Boy emulator. Oh my god, my camera is so bad. Should have filmed this with my cell phone. So it says Game Boy emulator. I hope you can kind of see it. The bubble is green, and when we press it, the background is blue. When I start the bubble, it turns yellow for a moment because that's the boot screen. And now it will hopefully launch into the Game Boy emulator. There we go. Alright, so we can start playing some games. No time for Tetris. So as you can see, when you press the PlayStation button to pause the application, the library stays the way it is, which is good. It looks really good. I'm just going to close it. Also, here is the package installer. It's been added to our home screen. We can launch it. Oh, well, apparently we can't launch it. I have no idea how it works. It's been too long. But the bubble is there. Oh, there we go. It launched. And now we can install our packages as usual. Alright, so that was my Bubble Studio tutorial. If you're using Henkaku, by the way, you can just write back the app database by using molecular shell. I'm really sorry, I can't pronounce it. It's very easy, but again, I can't use Henkaku just yet. So I hope it's clear enough what you need to do. Again, sorry, this tutorial is a bit rushed because I want to help people as fast as possible. But I hope all is clear. You know what to do now. If there's any trouble, if something's not working, feel free to send me a message either on Vololo or on Reddit. I'm checking them. Yeah, that's basically it. Thanks for watching and have fun editing your bubbles.